Oh. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Samasta Jana Kalyane Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Paramananda Madhavam. At no point of time it seems that we have the mental space for the most important pursuit that we can ever take up. Balastavat krida saktaha, tarunastavat taruni saktaha, vruddhastavat chinta saktaha, parame brahmani kopi na sakta. No one seems to be interested on this Brahman. Everyone is interested in something. And finally, no one was there. Such an important thing, which can make such a lot of difference in life, which can bestow you with the highest fulfillment. But at no point of life, a person seems to be interested. All the life is spent on things which are not really of that importance, things which don't truly matter at the end of the whole day. It's like adding zeros plus zero plus zero plus zero. Keep on adding. But finally you are left with only a big zero. That is what seems to be man's autobiography. This is how it should not be. That's what he is trying to tell you. Okay? Then, what should I do? Suppose it is asked. Then, look closely at your attachments and disengage. That is what he is saying. Kate kanta kaste putraha samsaroyam ativa vichitraha kasyatvam kahakuta ayataha tattvam chintaya tadiha bhrataha. So when it is said that kate kanta, whomever you are saying as my wife, or my husband, and to which relationship you are investing everything. You are investing totally yourself. And because of which you say that you have nothing, no time, nothing. Because this is so occupying fully your mental space. Actually, what is happening is only attachment. And that attachment we brand it as love. And once we brand it as love, then we expect that the other person to whom we are attached to behaves in accordance to our wishes and wants. And anytime those wishes and wants are not fulfilled, we get angry, we get upset, we throw lot of tantrums, everything we keep doing. If it is pure love, it is true love, then there is also freedom given. There is also a sense of ease for the other person to have his or her own thoughts. But we want to totally take possession of the other person's everything, including their mind. So this way, we kind of call it as love, but really speaking, what is happening is that we want the other person to be in exactly the same manner and way that we want the other person to be. Now, this wife whom you are saying and the son whom you are saying, who are they really? Do you own their souls? Do you own their souls? To say my. Kas, kasyatvam. You are whose? Not only we try to own the other person, and we also try to feel fulfillment in being owned. And when it becomes so suffocating, at that time we say, enough is enough. But why did you first of all encourage these kind of wrong channels of thinking? There is one great poet by name Kahil Gibran. Not sure how many of you. Kahil Gibran. He's written a beautiful book called Prophet. He's actually an Arabic poet, a Lebanese poet. Okay. Now he says something very, very beautifully. This is some of this most beautiful passages. Okay. I'll just read out for you. See if you can follow what he's saying. Because everything he says is not literal. What he says is little mystical. Okay. Now he's telling about children. Okay. Your children are not your children. Look at the lines. Your children are not your children. They are sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you, for life goes not backward, nor tarries with yesterday. You are the bows, B-O-W, okay? Bow or bow, whatever. You are the bows from which your children as living arrows are sent forth. You are the bows from which your children as living arrows are sent forth. The archer sees the mark upon the path of the infinite, and he bends you with his might, that his arrows may go swift and far. Let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness. For even as he loves the arrow that flies, so he loves also the bow that is stable. Have you come across this portion? Very beautiful. I'm not sure one reading will make total sense, but this Kahil Gibran book is Prophet on children. On marriage also he writes. I'm just reading a portion of it, okay? Marriage, Let there be spaces in your togetherness. Let there be spaces in your togetherness, and let the winds of the heavens dance between you. Love one another, but make not a bond of love. Let it rather be like a moving sea between the shores of your souls. Fill each other's cup, but drink not from the one cup. Give one another of your bread, but eat not from the same loaf. Sing and dance together and be joyous, but let each one of you be alone. Even as the strings of the lute are alone, though they quiver with the same music. Even as the strings of the lute are alone, though they quiver with the same music. Give your hearts, but not into each other's keeping, for only the hand of life can contain your hearts. And stand together, and yet not too near together, for the pillars of the temple stand apart, and the oak tree and the cypress grow not in each other's shadow. There are some beautiful lines which tells us how that bond of love, how that connection of love should not be strained by attachment, and there should be freedom even when we are together. There should be spaces in our togetherness. We have decided to be together, but there should be space and freedom in that togetherness. Okay? And also, speaking of children, what does he say beautifully? He says, they come through you and yet they do not belong to you. And then he compares to parents to be like that bow, and children to be like the arrow. Okay? That bow and the arrow. The bow bends and the arrow flies. And then he says the archer here is God, finally, God. The archer, he loves not just the arrow which flies, but also the bow that bends to make the arrow fly. Right? Now this is from the, what can I say? This is from the poetic standpoint, the philosopher's standpoint. Now from the Advaitic standpoint is what Shankaracharya is saying. That person whom you call as your son, that person whom you call yourself as your wife, that person for whom you call yourself as son or daughter, everyone is an individual traversing through the journey of life, of which birth and death are but pages in that full large volume called as life. So you have a volume, a book is there, and then you turn through the pages. Each page is life, but life does not end at the last word of that page. Life goes forward to the next page also. In the same way, each one travels through a journey, and the purpose of the journey is complete fulfillment, discovery of the self. This is the final purpose. Until this purpose is served, this journey of life will go through. And when we are all together, let us say as a family, then we should also understand that each one has got a purpose. Each one has an evolution to go for. And therefore, each one facilitates the other without owning the other, without possessing the other, without taking the freedom of the other, so that there is evolution in all, evolution in both. In any relationship, there is evolution in both. Keep this in mind. And therefore, when you say my, and then you bind yourself in that my, are you really doing good for yourself or good for the other person? You will understand the limitations of these things. If you want to really do good for the other person, give your thoughts, but not force your thoughts. Share your opinions, but do not bond or slave the other person to your opinions. Both ways. Let there be spaces between. This does not mean that there is no love, there is love. This does not mean there is no care, there is care. This only means that the family is a place where we grow, where we evolve together. Family is a place where we grow and evolve together, but we have to outgrow the family. We have to outgrow the family. What do you mean outgrow the family? Do you know from the Vedantic sense, what is this family? A person is there, he marries together, right? He marries. Now what happens? This person who was only an individual so far has this sense of love with the other person. That care for the other person is there. That person actually grows. When a person marries, what is actually happening from the Vedantic standpoint is that person is growing from 1 to 2. That is growth. Growth is always you grow. So from 1 you have become 2. So even though there are 2 persons, there is a sense of oneness. Okay? Then children come. Then what happens? Then that one person who had become 2 now becomes also 1 with the children. There is growth. The person expands from 1, I am 1, now I am many. You see? I am 1, but now when I married, then what happened? I became 2. Actually, it is not only 2. I am also associated and connected with all the people who come along with them. I grow. Then children, then again there is a growth. So in other words, it is a way by which we expand our selfhood from limited to more and more. That is marriage. That is family. That is called growth. But it should not end with here. It should go further and further. This is only a place where you exercise that growth. But then, I should not be only family. I should grow further and further. Because finally, what is the truth? I am one with the whole cosmos. That is the truth. But if we limit ourselves to I am only this much, this is all other than me, not to do with me, then what happens? There's a beautiful Sanskrit Subhashita. Ayam nijaha paro veti ganana lagu chetasam. Ayam nijaha. These are all my people. These are all me. These are all others. This kind of thinking is for whom? Lagu chetasam. Those who have small minds. Ayam nijaha paro veti ganana. This kind of thinking. Lagu chetasam. Udara charitaram tu vasudhaiva kutumbakam. Those people who have the heart which grows larger and larger, vasudhaiva kutumbakam. So in the process of marriage, in the process of family, what is happening? The individual is growing. That is why we call in our Shastra, marriage is a samskara, we say. Vivaha is a samskara. Samskara means what? Purification. Today I am only one individual, limitation. Now Vivaha, what happens? It's a samskara. I purify myself. How do I purify myself? By growing to be bigger. Marriage provides the opportunity to grow bigger, bigger, bigger. But you should grow further and further and further. And to embrace the whole world as myself. For the truth is what? Aham Brahma Asmi. Right? Tattvam chintaya tadiha prata. Think about these higher truths, oh my dear brother. In this way, Shankaracharya says, my brother, my dear brother, you please give a thought to what I am saying. Like that. Okay? Now let us go further. Now, The next verse, yes, I want to grow further, but where do I start? How do I progress? What is the whole, map of spiritual progress? What is the ladder of progress? This is a very beautiful verse we read in the morning. Let us once more read together and then we go forward. Satsangatve nissangatvam nirmohatvam
निश्चलतत्त्वे
जीवन्मुक्तिः भज गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि रक्षति दुःकृङ्करणि नहि रक्षति दुःकृङ्करणि. How does the whole spiritual journey starts? The spiritual journey starts in this way. Satsanga. Sangha means association. Association with what? Association with Sat. Sat means truth. Sat means fact. Sat means reality. Sat means nobility. Sat means goodness. Sat means that which helps one to become better and better. Sat refers to that path of reality. So Satsanga, connect yourself first with truth, because usually the world is flooded with delusions. Connect yourself with truth. Misinformation, false in the name of knowledge only is spread in the world. Connect yourself with the right sources of knowledge. Otherwise, we may imagine that we have wisdom, but what we have is only a bundle of delusions. Satsanga, find out. Okay? So, connect yourself with Sat. How do you connect yourself with Sat reality? You connect yourself with Sat reality by associating yourself with those who have got this comprehension of the reality. You connect yourself with reality by associating yourself with those who have understood, comprehended, known, walking the path, and who have the goal of the reality. Not necessarily everybody whom we connect with respect to the reality are knowers of reality. They may be sadhakas. But yet their goal is what? Their goal is that reality. So connect yourself with sadhakas. Connect yourself with those gurus who have got that comprehension. Connect yourself with those who have got access to the truth through the knowledge of the Shastras. And if you don't find somebody who has got such a knowledge of the Shastras to connect with at least with the literature written by those great saints. You want to connect yourself with, you want to have a conversation, you want to discuss with Swami Vivekanandaji. What do? Where do you find Swami Vivekananda? Go to the collected works of Swami Vivekanandaji. You want to connect yourself with Adi Shankaracharya. Open this book, Bhaja Govindam. Talk to him. Ask him the questions. You want to connect with Swami Chinmayananda. Read his commentary over the books. Satsanga. Nowadays we also have videos also available, audios available. So Satsanga. Every day determine that some portion of my time is going to be devoted for noble thoughts, for scriptural wisdom. Some portion of your time. Half an hour. 45 minutes. 20 minutes. But not a day will go without me exposing myself to right ideas, noble thoughts. Not a day should go. Man is what his mind is. Therefore, any change we want to bring in oneself or anyone begins with the thoughts. Satsangatve. Once you start that satsanga, then what happens? Slowly, slowly, you will see the false opinions that you have. Slowly, slowly, you will find that delusions go away. How do delusions go away? By pratipaksha bhavana coming up, rising up. This pratipaksha bhavana, have you seen in the text pratipaksha bhavana? What is pratipaksha bhavana? Pratipaksha bhavana is seeing the other side. Seeing the other side. What? We think this side. Okay? This is beautiful. Then pratipaksha bhavana is finally you understand. For example, you take this verse. For example, studies and all, no, all kinds of worldly kind of knowledge. Nahi nahi rakshati dukrang karane. Then you have Mudajahi dhanagamatrish, etc. This is our Pratipaksha Bhavana. Nari stanabara nabi desham etan maham savasadi vikaram. Pratipaksha Bhavana. Don't take life for granted. Nalini dalagata jalamati taralam tadvajjivitam atishaya chapalam. Pratipaksha Bhavana. Right? Yavat vitto. Don't give so much importance to somebody's praise and glory because you are able to do this or that. Why? All those things are only as long as efficiencies and capacities are manifesting in this body. A time will come when these also will go away. Right? Pratipaksha Bhavana. So, in other words, what is being said here? When you connect yourself with these noble ideas and thoughts, and as you go deeper and deeper and understand the position of what these wise men are talking, and when they ask kasyatvam kahakuta ayataha, and when you start inquiring, what happens? Slowly in your mind also clarity comes, and all your illusions and delusions are shattered. Nissangatvam. You become detached from those you are. You become detached. Nissanga means what? Where we think there is joy. Now we understand there is no joy there. That's called nissanga. Attachment is when we think that there is happiness there. Detachment is when we know that actually there is no true happiness there. Nissanga will happen. So first start with satsanga. Then you go to nissanga. And when the mind is able to get clarity, what will happen? Nissangatve nirmohatvam. All the moha will go away. The biggest of all moha is the notion of I am the body, mind and intellect. I am the individual. This is the biggest delusion that we have. This is the base delusion. First delusion. This is the original delusion. From this only we have all other delusions. I take myself to be the body, then what happens? Whatever my body likes, I like. I take myself to the mind, then whatever my mind wishes, I think that is what I like. Am I communicating? What is the original first mistake I do? I don't know myself. I take myself to be the body. I take myself to be the mind. Okay? So this kind of delusion, this is the basic delusion. Now when I am detached from my attachments, what I usually have, then what happens? I get the mental space. And when I get the mental space, I am able to go forward in my spiritual pursuit. So long as I'm attached, wanting this, wishing that, then and that, this and that, wanting, then what happens? There's no mental space at all. But the moment I'm able to withdraw from all my useless preoccupations, and with this clarity in my mind, When detachment from all externalities are there, and I also ask these questions. How do I find more and more about this knowledge? So when the mind has got that space, and then one starts one's inquiry, goes deeper and deeper. And as one searches for this knowledge more and more, opportunities also happen. Then one finds a teacher who can help us more and more deeper. That is a very important phase in one's spiritual progress. But that doesn't happen just like that. It is not like you advertise for a guru and you find out a guru. It does not happen. When you become ready, then you find the teacher. When you seek this knowledge, then you find the teacher coming to one's life. The guru comes to one's life. You cannot find the guru. The guru has to find you. If you find the guru, you are smarter. I know you are my guru. How do you know you are my guru? I know you are my guru. How did I know you are my guru? Because you agreed, no? If I will do whatever you say, and then my guru. Or I give you this much, I will give you seva. Then you are my guru. No, it is not like that. When we are ready for the spiritual knowledge, and then the sincere wish and want, then the guru comes in your life. The common example given is, the bud does not go in search of the bee. The bud does not go in search of the bee. When the bud opens to become the flower, then what happens? The bee finds that flower. In the same way, when we become ready for spiritual knowledge, the guru comes in our life. So all that we have to do is what? Is to evolve. How do you evolve? Satsangatve. Expose yourself to noble thoughts. Open yourself for fresh wisdom. And when that knowledge comes, immediately all the useless preoccupations, I want this, everything goes away. Then you become ready for deeper knowledge. Nisangatve nirmohatvam. Spiritual knowledge comes deeper and deeper in one's life. And then one listens to the spiritual knowledge, one reflects on the spiritual knowledge, and finally one understands that, yes. Now this is a process and a journey. Finally one understands that I am not this body, I am not this mind. One understands with logic that jnana happens. First with logic one understands. Then afterwards, nirmohatve, when you have clarity, nischalatattvam, slowly the clarity matures into conviction. Okay? So how did it start? First it starts with satsanga. Then from satsanga what happens? Nissanga happens. From nissanga what happens? Nirmoha. From nirmoha what happens? Nischala tattva. So if you want to say, first exposure to knowledge. Exposure. Satsanga. Then from satsanga what happens? Detachment. Detachment means what? No attachment. No attachment means what? No feeling that this contains happiness, this has happiness, that happiness. One is able to. Then from that detachment, one goes deeper into the scriptural knowledge. Shravana listens, manana reflects. Then deeply one has that spiritual, that conviction of self-knowledge comes, nirmoha. Nirmohatve. So all that delusion is removed. Nirmohatve. When that moha is not there, nischaratattvam. Then one has the clear experience of the reality. Nischaratattva. Tattva means what? Reality. Nischaratattva means what? That reality is perfectly experienced. That's called vijnana. From satsanga, you have nissanga. From nissanga, all doubts and all, clarity comes. Nirmoha. Delusions are shattered. And from that clarity, what happens? Then one comes to Nischala Tattva. One has that personal conviction, or one who called as Vijnana comes there. And from that clarity, what happens? Jivan Muktihi. Jivan Mukti is liberation. What is this liberation? Liberation is freedom. What is this freedom? Freedom. Today, I have a sense of limitation. I am an individual. And when I'm an individual, then what happens? Joys and sorrows and all problems and difficulties, being an individual will come to me. Because I'm an individual. When I'm an individual, then I have an object, I and the world. Then what happens? As I and the world, then I have a relationship of I want it, I don't want it. Raga, Dvesha, all those things. And when Raga, Dvesha is there, sorrow and sufferings also will be there. Now, when I understand my real nature, and I abide in my true self, and when that Vijnana is very strong, then what happens? There is liberation in life. Jivan Mukti. So this is a ladder. Start with Satsanga. And from Satsanga comes Pratipaksha Bhavana. And because of Pratipaksha Bhavana, there is detachment. And from detachment, what happens? Then one goes deeper and deeper in spiritual knowledge. Then what happens? Then there is Jnana, Nirmoha. Right? Then when one is very clear with spiritual knowledge, then slowly one comes to the experience of it. From Jnana one goes to Vijnana. And as that experience in self-knowledge becomes stronger and stronger, Nischala Tattve, Jivan Muktihi, freedom from samsara happens. Please see if you are able to understand this verse. Satsangatve Nisangatvam Sangatve Nirmohatvam Mohatve Nischalatatvam Nischalatatve Jivan Mukti Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Govindam Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate Samprapte Sannihite Kale Nahi nahi rakshati dukkrinkarani Nahi nahi rakshati dukkrinkarani. So in the earlier verse, Bhagavan Shankaracharya had said, when you come to know the reality, Nischala Tattve, when you come to know the reality, when you become firm in your abidance in your self-knowledge, then what happens? There is liberation. There is liberation. Liberation from sorrow. As long as one is an individual, there will be sorrow. The moment one comes to understand one's real nature, that one is not an individual, but one is of the nature of Satchidananda, the ultimate truth, then what happens? From that knowledge, liberation comes. How do you say that? From knowledge comes liberation. You have the next verse. Okay? Vayasi gate kaha kama vikaraha
वयसि गते कः कामविकारः
शुष्के नीरे कह का सारः
शुष्के नीरे कः का सारः
क्षीणे वित्ते कह परिवारः
क्षीणे वित्ते कः परिवारः
ज्ञाते तत्त्वे कह संसारः
ज्ञाते तत्त्वे
कह संसारः वयसि गते कह काम विकार शुष्के नीरे कह का सारः निवित्ते कह परिवार ज्ञाते तत्त्वे कह संसार भज गोविंदम गोविंदम भज मूढ़मते संप्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि नहि रक्षति दुःकृङ्करणि nahi nahi rakshati dukrankarane. He's asking us in questions. This style is called as kaku. It's called kaku style, where you ask a question and the answer is evident from the question. Okay? Vayasi gate kaha kama vikara. Kama is here lust. Kama vikaraha is what? Is those activities which come out of lust. Okay? Those activities born from lust. Vayasi gate. When that age has gone and one has become such a old man that one needs somebody to hold you to get up, and then to walk also you need so much of support. Your blood and your muscles and everything has become so old and so dilapidated and you're so decrepit. Vayasi gate. When that age has gone by, meaning what? When the blood is hot, when the muscles are in their full vibrancy, then you find that person is able to express that vikara of kama. But vayasi gate, it's all gone. Kaha kama vikara? Where is that possible? Shushke nire kaha kasaraha? When all the waters have been evaporated, where is the lake? Kshine vitte, when all your wealth has gone away, kaha parivaraha? Where is your retinue which is behind you, always praising and glorifying you? Meaning, when the cause is not there, how can there be effect? When the waters are not there, where can there be lake? When you have no more wealth, where are those people who are coming behind you, praising you, wanting this or that from you? They are not going to be there. Jnate tatve. When you come to know the truth of who you are, kaha samsara. Where is samsara? Where is samsara? Where is the ups and downs of life? We'll come to that later. Jnate tatve. What is the meaning of knowing oneself? Jnate tatve. When you know the reality. Today I do not know who I am. I'm identified with this body, mind and intellect. I am an individual. And when I'm an individual, I have the world. When I have the world, then I have my connection with the world as like and dislike. And like and dislike, when I have, joy and sorrow will be there. Because what I like, if it doesn't come to me, I have sorrow. What I dislike, if it comes to me, I have sorrow. What I like, if I get joy. This joy and sorrow, ups and downs of life is called as samsara. From the subjective level. When I know my true nature as who I am. When I know my true nature as Ananda Swarupa. When I know my true nature that I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am not an individual. When I have discovered my true nature as being one with that highest bliss, where are the ups and downs and joys and sorrows of life? When I am the infinite bliss, from that infinite bliss, what can be taken away from it? Because when I am infinite, infinite minus anything still remains infinite. Infinite plus something added to it still remains infinite. When I come to know my true nature as the infinite bliss, where are the ups and downs? Where are the joys and sorrows? Where are the turbulent problems that I go through, because of which I say one day I am joyful, another time I say I am sorrowful. This ups and downs, when it is not there, how can it be there? So this is samsara with respect to the inner samsara. Samsara outside is what? When I take myself to be an individual, then again and again I go through the cycle of birth and death, cycle of birth and death. When I know myself, I am not an individual, then the sense of incompleteness ends once and for all. And when incompleteness ends, desire ends, wishes and wants ends, there is no fuel for the individual to take one more birth, because as long as desires are there, to fulfill those desires, the individual takes birth. When the desires have ceased, because individuality has ceased, and individuality has ceased, why? Because one has come to know one's true nature, then where is this question of the cycle of birth and death? That will end. Vayasi gate kama vikaraha shushke nire. Shankaracharya is not saying Vayasi gate kaha kamaha. He is not saying that. Kama vikara. Kama vikara is different from kama. Kama is lust. Kama vikara is what? Activities born from lust. When you have grown so old that you can't get up. When you have grown so old that for everything you need assistance. Meaning, when your senses, when your organs of action, when your organs of perception, everything have gone so weak. It is only through these organs one expresses all those feelings, is it not? That lust and everything. But when all of them, that age which gives that energy for all that expression, when that age has gone by, meaning when the strength has gone by, when the capacity has gone by, when everything has gone by, and you are left only as a body, maybe kama may be there inside, because mind is very different. But kama vikara, the expression of that kama, those activities which are expression of kama, where is that possible? Vayasi gate kaha kama vikara. Shushke nire kaha saraha. When the waters have evaporated, where can be the lake? There are some places where even when water is evaporated, somebody will call it as lake. All water is gone. I'll show you our lake. You go. What is there? Dry place. Our lake. It is not a lake. Shushke nire kaha kasa. Kshine vitte kaha parivaraha. The retinue which comes behind you, begging for you, praising you, glorifying you, wanting this or that. When your wealth has gone away, what happened to all of them? When the politician has lost his... Where are the people around him? Nyate tatve kahas samsara. When the cause is not there, effect is not there. Samsara is because one is an individual. Individuality causes samsara. Nyate tatve. When you have known you are not that individual, but you are that reality. And you are that Ananda Swarupa. Where is the ups and downs, joys and sorrows of samsara? In other words, know yourself. Find your true nature and become free. That's the point. All right. Now going further, but am I not happy? Everything is there, safe, secure, I have a strong back balance, I have got good contacts, I'm hale and hearty, all is well. What is the problem for me? Ma kuru dhana jana yavana garvam. Next verse, let us read. Ma kuru dhana jana yavana garvam.
Ma कुरु धनजन यौवनगर्वं
हरति निमेषात् कालः सर्वम्
हरति निमेषात् कालः सर्वं
मायामयमिदमखिलं बुद्ध्वा
मायामयमिदमखिलं बुद्ध्वा
ब्रह्मपदं त्वं प्रविश विदित्वा
ब्रह्मपदं त्वं प्रविश विदित्वा
मा कुरु धनजन यौवनगर्वं हरति निमेषात् कालः सर्वं मायामयमिदमखिलं बुद्ध्वा ब्रह्मपदं त्वं प्रविश विदित्वा भज गोविन्दम्
गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि नहि
रक्षति डुक्कृङ्करणे मा कुरु धनजन यौवन गर्वं हरति निमेषात् कालः सर्वं मा कुरु don't you ever ma kuru don't, it's a kind of order. Ma kuru what? Dhana jana yavvana garvam, don't you ever feel overconfident because of dhana jana yavvana. Garva is pride, garva is overconfidence, garva is a kind of complacency which springs because of some reason. He says, don't ever be complacent. What? I have a lot of wealth. I'm safe and secure. My happiness is in safe hands. Why? Because all my money is in that safe. Dhana. Jana is contacts. I have so much of people supporting me. Jana. Yavvana means youth. It refers to one's own sense of energy and strength. What one finds in youth is very, very strong. Out of this, don't be complacent. Meaning, don't think because of all these things, everything is safe, everything is fine, and all is done. Don't you ever do that. Why? Harati nimeshat kala sarvam. In a moment, time can take all these things away. How many kingdoms have been reduced to nothing? How many rich people have lost in a moment everything? That even they have to sell their houses to pay. How many times we find? Everywhere, all the t-shirts or all the shirts and all the, wear of the Indian sports team, this, that and all, you'll find names. And finally, one day you see in the newspaper, here, there, you come to know, finished. Dhana, jana. All the people who are supporting and saying, hallelujah, hallelujah to you. They'll queue you up and go away. Jana. Yavvana. Yavvana is the youth and energy. Everything will just go away fast. Just go, sir. Harati nimeshat kalas sarvam. All that you hold as so, maya mayamidam akilam buddhva. Understanding all these things are maya maya. What is maya maya? Maya maya. All of you have seen magic shows, isn't it? Magic is called as Maya. And a magician is called Mayavi. Magicians create a lot of wonderful things on the... When we are children, especially when we go for a magic show and all, my God. Shoo, how is he doing? Suddenly, from his head, cap, he moves a cap. From the cap comes pigeons, rabbit. So many things. That is not Maya. So many things he creates out of his own. Children all get so fascinated. What a wonderful fire from the mouth and so many things. 1 rupee coins all come from the ears and nose, everywhere it comes. All kinds of things he creates. But if he can create so many 1 rupee coins, then he should be very rich, no? Why is he collecting from all of us 1 rupee, or 5 rupee, and making us come for that magic show? He must be so rich, right? But why did he collect? When we were in school and all, they would collect 1 rupee, I think, at that time. Now probably I don't know how much rupees they collect for magic show and all. And then you go to the magic show and you get so fascinated. Maya Mayam. All this is looking so fascinating, so attractive, but really it is nothing. You cannot base your life on that. Your safety and security is not because of that. Don't you ever trust all these things. Maya Mayam. Maya Mayam means they look fascinating, but really they don't have any inner pith. They are not real. They look attractive, but inside they don't have any essence. All that we hold as so valuable and so good and so safe and so happy, everything can vanish away in a minute. Understanding that all of them are only apparent and don't have any true value. Understand yourself to be one with that highest reality, where alone you are truly safe, and become and enter that state of oneness of yourself with the highest reality. Brahmapadam tvam viditva pravisha. Understanding your true nature to be one with that highest reality. Understanding. First you understand. And then what you do? You go forward to actually experience it. This alone will finally truly help you, and not just all these things which are only temporary, ephemeral, and which will vanish in no time. They are undependable. What all? Dhana, Jana, Yavana. Garvam is that complacency because of this. Don't hold this to be there, therefore I am safe. Dhana, don't think. Jana, don't think. Yavana, don't think. Because they are all temporary. Find the highest truth and be truly safe. Otherwise, you are not. Okay? We'll stop with this, and the next session we'll take the next verse. Let us read the verses we completed today. From Satsangatve, right? Satsangatve nissangatvam nissangatve nirmohatvam nirmohatve nischalatatvam nischalatatve jivan mukti bhaja govindam govindam bhaja mudhamate samprapte sannihite kale nahi rakshati dukrankarane vayasi gate kaha kama vikaraha shushke nire
क्षीणे वित्ते कः परिवारः
ज्ञाते तत्त्वे कः संसारः भज गोविन्दम्
गोविन्दं भज
मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि रक्षति डुक्रङ्करणे मा कुरु धन जन यौवन गर्वम् निमेषात् काल सर्वं मायामयमिदमखिलं
बुद्ध्वा ब्रह्मपदं
त्वं प्रविश विदित्वा भज गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि रक्षति डुक्कृङ्करणे नहि रक्षति डुक्कृङ्करणे ओ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ